All right, folks, welcome to a Market Open live stream and the jobs report. I want you to kind of think to yourself, what do you think we're going to get? Are we going to get a beat or are we going to get a miss? Expectations are all over the place. They're anywhere between 350,000 jobs to 1.2 million. We know that the Federal Reserve expects to be a little bit more happy about tapering if we get to somewhere around 800,000 to 900,000 jobs in this report, and then the next report. So the next two reports are going to be very important. That makes this very next report also very important. So we'll keep an eye on this. This jobs report obviously comes out today, so super excited to see what exactly happens in the next 4 minutes is when it'll come out. So, all right. In the meantime, let's see what other sort of updates we have or previews that we have. We have, let's see here. We have, okay, here we go. This on Bloomberg. Investors underestimate the likely impact of today's release. Even gains close to the current consensus could provoke a market reaction. Given the modest expectation for rate hikes paced in now, a major piece of data that can be read as an optimistic signal could firm up rate expectations down the road, along with tapering plans in the fourth quarter. Exactly. That's going to be interesting. So that is interesting that they think maybe the market's actually underestimating a little bit what this could mean. So all right, well, we'll see. So this report will be out in the next 2 minutes. Kind of excited to see what happens. We've got CNBC up and ready to go, but we'll probably be covering it at the same time as them. Ooh, all right. 2.5 minutes to go. Take a look at payroll days in the past. The average reaction, at least since January's data, has been positive in the trading session following the data, regardless of upside or downside. That's interesting. That is interesting. So it's been positive. Let's see if it is this time. We are now 1.5 minutes away. Let's see. For a chunk of the pandemic era, bad news like economic data misses have been good news for risk assets like stocks or high yield tech, right? Because it signals less or a slower taper, and then less or more far out rate increases. Today's going to be big. Really looking for a figure probably for risk assets under 600,000. I think we're going to be leaning towards the higher side. So I don't think Delta really took over yet. So I'm excited to see what happens here. Unemployment rate was 5.9% in the last report, and we're now 45 seconds away. Super exciting. Let's see here. Somebody, Bloomberg Intelligence chief industry economist says hold on, much is being made about seasonality issues in the July jobs report. This basically boils down to hiring and layoffs in the education sector, as a lot of layoffs occur in July. As such, for a quick and dirty shortcut around the possible distortion related to the seasonality in education, simply focus on the private payroll game. Okay. All right. We're potentially within 5 seconds now. So here we go. Oops. I guess that camera's off. There we go. All right. 943,000. That is definitely a push to the upside. 943. That's a pretty big, I would say, beat, even though consensus was all over the place. 943,000. That's a really big number. That is going to play into the Fed's hand. I would expect Treasury yields to go up. I would expect risk stocks to go down. Let's take a look at the report here. 943,000. That's a big move to the upside. Unemployment rate declined by 0.5% to 5.4%. Let's see. Notable job gains occurred in leisure and hospitality, in local government education. There you go. and in professional and business service. There's that lean to the higher side. This is more than a lean to the higher side. This is just a beat to the higher side. Let's see. Number of unemployed persons fell by 782,000. However, remain well above their current levels. Major worker groups, the unemployment rate was 5.4% for adult men, adult women 5%, whites 4.8% for whites, blacks still almost double, 8.2%, Hispanics 6.6%, teenagers 9.6%, Asians 5.3%. Among this, temporary layoffs fell by 572 to 1.2 million in July. Number of long-term unemployed for 27 weeks or more decreased by 560K in July to 3.4 million. It's obviously still substantially higher than it was before. Labor force participation rate, little changed. It's not good. Still at 61.7% and has remained within a narrow range since June of 2020. Unemployed, okay, let's see here. Employed persons for part-time reasons was unchanged at 4.5 million. The number of people not in the labor force who want a job was 6.5 million. Okay, survey data. In July, 13.2% of employed persons teleworked. Wow, that's low. This just keeps going down. People are going back to the office. During the pandemic, this was like 25%. It's crazy. It looks like, wow, June payroll gains were actually revised up as well from 850,000 to 938,000. This is a strong jobs report, and they revised the last one to be even stronger. This is more evidence of a taper coming sooner. All right, let's get to the next page here. Notable job gains in leisure and hospitality. We saw that. Leisure hospitality added 380,000 jobs, 2/3 of which was in food and drinking, basically restaurants. Employment grew in accommodation, entertainment, local government education rose by 221,000 and 40,000 in private education. Professional business services rose 60,000. Transportation warehousing added 50,000. Healthcare 37,000. Other services 39,000. Manufacturing 27,000. Lots of ads here. Did we lose anywhere? Retail trade minus 6,000. Retail trade. So this would be, let's see, here. Garden supply stores. Okay, here. Offset by a loss in building material and garden supply stores. 34,000. Interesting. Average hourly earnings increased by 11 cents to 30.54. 11 cents. 30.54.11 divided by that. And then if I multiply that rate by 12, we'll get sort of an annualized rate there. Times 12. It's about 4. Is that right? Yeah, about 4.3%. Okay. That's pretty. Is that right? Hey, hold on a second. An 11%, 11 cent increase. No, I think that's actually pretty low. Hold on, never mind. No, that's 0.04 it. Never mind. Okay, in July, the average work week for all employees on private non-farm payroll was unchanged, 34.8 hours. Okay, let's see here. All right, that's it. Now we can go to the tables, but let's take a listen here to what CNBC has to say.
Before the Delta variant really started spreading, so I think we're going to definitely want to keep an eye on that for the next month. If the actual unemployment rate is going to get down into the 5s or even into the 4s, then even the folks that are on team temporary, like I consider myself, once we get...
Okay, the 10 years did just spike. The 10-year is now at 1.27. That is a big jump from the 1.2. However, we've kind of been going up in anticipation of this over the last couple days here. I'll show you a screenshot here. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Take a look at this right here. So your 10-year jumping after the payroll report. That's not a surprise. That is what we expected. The next expectation that we had is that certain risk asset stocks might potentially move down. So let's see what we got here. Let's start with the SPY. See if we had a move here. Go to the minute. So that's weird. It started going up and now it's going down. That is so bizarre for the SPY. Let's look at some other ones like Tesla. Yeah, see, look at that. Tesla down. Let's go Apple down. This is what you would expect. Microsoft down. Square. Excuse me. Yeah, Square down. Everything just rotated down off of that. Fisker, except for Fisker. What about airlines? Spirit Airline, don't care. Coinbase, slightly down. I did not know that Coinbase was at 255. Wow. Let's see, Bitcoin. Any reaction on Bitcoin? Go to a minute. Not really. Not really a reaction here on Bitcoin. That's interesting. All right, let's go back to CNBC.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a chance, not one chance, that Jay Paul will not be reconfirmed. They could play all the kabuki theater games they want. He will be confirmed. You heard it here first.
Anybody else agree with that? Disagree with that? Looking around the panel.
Yeah, no, he's going to get reconfirmed. Come on.
Not so much on Jay Powell, but I want to agree with something Austin said, which is a couple months of high payrolls is the best possible outcome. I think we all want to be in a place where the Fed has to consider their policy and how they think about removing accommodation, whether it's tapering asset purchases or talking about.
All right, so I'm going to pull off that. So U.S. S&P 500. Let's see. Versus NASDAQ. NASDAQ futures are dropping. Yield and dollar also caught, but gold is dropping. Good news is being interpreted as good news. Stark contrast to the trend we've seen in the past year. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing like that big of a plummet. Labor force participation rate came in as expected. We saw that. Yeah, it's a pretty strong report. 10-year yields going higher. We saw that. Big number, 943,000. Big old number. All right, let's listen in again.
Democrats are considering at this point, too. How do you figure out where the economy is going to be, not knowing which of those things get passed?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to keep in mind that, relative to the size of the fiscal stimulus that we've gotten over the past couple of years, even if we do pass additional legislation, we're still going to see government spending, lower than where it's been, just because of the massive amount that we've gotten. So I think that really the question is, do these, types of reforms that the administration is trying to pass, do they really impact the supply side of the economy? Because that's really important. Do they increase productivity? Do they bring people back to the labor force, and in particular women back to the labor force? Because actually
women have the lowest unemployment rate, according to this jobs report.
The economy and increases growth over the long term. So, those are the kinds of things that, that we're really looking for with the legislation.
Katie, what have you seen in manufacturing just in terms of trying to get workers back in? Do you think the government policies are keeping you from being able to get them back in? Do you think that changes in September, maybe when schools reopen? What's your thought?
I actually think we're seeing a more fundamental shift in manufacturing and in other sectors as well, in the way that companies get work done. And
we'll look at the sticks in just 1 second here.
For the workforce. So in manufacturing, we're seeing real accommodation and change and acceleration of digital and advanced analytics capabilities to make companies more resilient in the face of the pandemic, but in the face of other supply and demand shocks as well. And that changes the game really for the workforce in terms of what the nature of the work is, what they can expect in terms of long-term career potential, what they can expect in terms of continuous learning and upskilling.
Hey, Austin, let me throw another couple numbers at you. The one that Rick mentioned, average hourly earnings up 0.4%, 0.4 versus the 0.3 that had been anticipated.
That's what I thought.
Is that concerning? Does that get into this argument of whether this inflation is actually going to be transitory, or is that not enough for you to be concerned?
I think it's not enough to be concerned. And most of the thing that's driving.
I don't know why I had trouble calculating it, but I did get the 0.4. I think my decimal place was off.
If you get a bunch of lower income jobs coming in stronger than the higher income jobs, it's going to bring down average wages, even though nobody's wage changed. The fact that labor force participation seemed like it stayed stable rather than going up is pushing back a little the other way. So
all right, let's go ahead and go over to the sticks. Let's analyze what the heck is going on here. All right, so here we go. Oh, that's the wrong button. Keep in mind, just a couple little notes for housekeeping. Yesterday, I posted a video with a $1 million challenge. In that challenge is an opportunity for you to share anything you want about me or the campaign or stocks. It doesn't matter. Just anything you share to your audience, you could get 10 points per share for, and those points help you either get a free course or go to Vegas with me at the end of September. Excuse me, on a private jet, which is going to be really fun, and we'll have fun. So take a look at that video. It's the $1 million challenge if you haven't seen it yet, and it tells you basically to download the Meet Kevin app and to upload your proof of shares. It's really cool, and that's how you gain points every single day, which is awesome. So look forward to you checking that video out, and hope to see you in Vegas. All right, so let's look at the chart here. FireEye, cybersecurity here, getting wrecked here, about 10.9% here. Beyond Meat fell about 8% right when earnings first came out, but it's only down about 3.93% right now, sitting about 117. Sunrun's down about 4.17. Ocugen's down. Peloton actually down about 1%. AMD and about almost another 1%. Looks like Cheesecake Factory's down nearly 2%. Let's scroll to the bottom here. On the other side, we've got Microvast running again. It ran 20% yesterday. Now it's running 18%. So you've got some big momentum here, along with momentum over at Plug Power, which just moved about 9.3%. I do believe they reported yesterday. So let me see if I can pull up their earnings really quick. So I am curious to see how Plug Power did earnings-wise. I'll be right back when we get that.
If it, another percentage point down by their own calculations of what the right policy is relative to a 4.5% unemployment rate. We did see the jobs that we alluded to this earlier, leisure and hospitality up 380,000. And the big number there was food and drinking establishments up 253. Yeah. So that's an area.
All right. We already covered that. Okay. So Plug Power, let's see how Plug did, because they, they're running a little bit right now. Okay, here we go. Plug Power. Yep, revenue came in at 124.6. The estimate was 113.2. Plug Power CEO boosts 2021 gross billings guidance to 500 million. Comments during Plug's earnings call, blah, blah, blah. Loss per share came in at 18 cents versus 3 cents. So loss per share was actually larger, but the guidance was a beat, and so was the not just the guidance, but the revenue. So that's good. Good job, Plug Power. Okay, let's go ahead and get back over here. Norwegian Cruise Lines up about 2.4%, 1.9% on Carnival. We did have COVID cases jump a little bit again. There's a little bit of a neat pattern. I'll show you this pattern. Watch this. COVID cases. You just throw this into Google. Just make sure you go to all states, not the state you're in. Show all. And just go to the last 30 days here. So take a look at kind of this pattern that you get. You get kind of this weekend lull in testing, which is always really funny on the charts. And then you get this pop Monday, Tuesday. Then you get the little lull, the midweek lull. You had this both times here. So I wonder if tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to get potentially a number over 150,000 again. That would be consistent with an uptrend. If we got a low report, like 100,000, that would be consistent with this uptrend not being as stable as thought. So because you could see most of the time, these last bars here are the tall ones. So we'll see what happens. That'll be very, very interesting. So cheers to some coffee. All right. Zillow Group 2.5. Had a mining. Wow, 548. may just keep running. Shift Technologies 2.18, Dave & Buster's 1.48, Arcimoto 1.31, nice. EXPI 1%, cool. How are some of the ones that we've been following? Let's look at Tesla. Tesla is slightly down 0.09%. It's pretty much flat. Robinhood is actually up 3.5%. Etsy's up 0.6%. Lemonade's up 0.46%. All right. Let's go ahead and see how reporters are covering the news that we have here. China's Didi in talks with state-owned Westone to hand over data management. Trying to make a deal. All right. So, and let's also pull the 10-year Treasury one more time just to see how it's moving. It spiked to about 1.27. About 1.28 now. Okay. It's obviously still a lot lower than what we've had before, but I wish our crawl spaces were this big. I don't know where this person is installing these plumbing pipes, but I don't know. At any house I'm ever in, you're on your stomach if you're underneath it. That doesn't have to be a house, I guess. Anyway, okay, we saw this. Data on the Fed. So what does it all mean for the Fed? Here's the first commentary from the person who does, I think, the macro blog. Solid. I don't think this moves the Fed, though. Bernard wants to see 2 reports before making the determination. Yeah, well, that's what we said. That's exactly what we were talking about. But this is the first half of those 2 reports, right? You know, if the first half was a miss, then obviously you need another 2 reports. But this checks one of the boxes off, so I think it actually does mean something. NASDAQ futures notably underperforming, down 0.4%. Yeah, well, kind of expect that. All right, let's see here. Economic. Okay, well, this is older. I see. Okay, it's like the vlog. All right, infrastructure set up for a weekend skirmish. Nicholas Milton turns to lawyers who defended Tesla's Musk. Oh, that's interesting. Against the SEC, probably. But we don't really care about that. Alibaba warns of higher taxes as China crackdown widens. Ooh. You know, in terms of, I appreciate the $5 here, but in terms of whether the summer months are better or worse, I don't exactly know, but I can tell you that nothing is expected in this year, the year after COVID 1.0 and up against Delta. So I don't know that prior can really help predict. All right, so what else here? Let's go look at Bitcoin. BTC USD. We are at 40,800. Let's go to Ethereum. How are we doing over here? Ethereum sitting at 2772. This is about where it was sitting right before the network upgrade to ADA USD. How are we doing over here? ADA sitting at 137. Okay. Gosh, it makes the times we were buying it at like 104 seem like such a bargain. Which, of course, every time I buy even crypto, I send an alert to those of you in the Stocks and Psychology Money group. Which if you have not joined yet, remember you get lifetime access. Consider joining. Use that link down below. 40% off. All right. Wayfair down 1%. Well, it did have a nice run yesterday, 10% up. Roblox at 79 again, just below 80. We have, how about Nvidia? How's that one doing? Golly, she's done so well. It is a beast of a company, though. Like, you just have to wish it well. It's a beast. Absolute beast. All right, let's see what else we got here. We expect this whole jobs report to be front page news everywhere, but we'll just go one article past that. Universities face student lawsuits over COVID-19 mask mandate, or vaccine mandate, I'm sorry. Here's U.S. economy added jobs. Excuse me. Oh, Yelp. Yelp is popping. Wow, it's been a while since I've seen Yelp pop. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that pop on Yelp. Almost $42. Let me see if they were. That might be what happened. Let's see here. Yelp. Gosh, Yelp was so beat up on during the pandemic because all the businesses were like shutting down. Nobody was advertising. It was like the first thing people took away during the shutdown was ads. In fact, I even remember sponsors are like, yeah, we're not doing any sponsors right now because COVID. I was like, really? Like, I'm sitting in front of a camera. What difference does it make? Yeah, well, we're not spending any money right now. I'm like, okay. They're like frantic about it too. I mean, I guess I don't blame that. Yelp revenue comes in at $257.2 million versus $245.8. Loss per share was only 5 cents versus 33 cents a year ago. And they guided a little higher, 1.01 billion to 1.03 for the fiscal year. And the expectation was 1 billion to 1.02. EBITDA also beating. So good guidance. And a $250 million increase to its stock repurchase program. Oh, wow. Okay, so a beat on rev, a beat on net, a beat on the forecast, and stock buyback. Yeah. That here's like a lesson in how to pump your stock. Triple beat, stock buyback or dividend. And then the next day, raise money. No, I'm just kidding. If you're doing stock buyback, you're not needing to raise money. Although that is kind of what Robinhood did. Well, not really. I mean, they went public, the stock skyrocketed, and then they authorized the sale of like 94 million. So 94 million shares? Pretty sure it was shares. That's insane. It's a big number. Let's see. Robinhood share authorization. Was it like 94 million, something like that? What was yesterday's news? No. Shares. Now I don't remember what it was anymore. It was some large number. Robinhood shares. I don't know. There, 97.9 million shares. Okay. Oh, yeah. Tesla tanks every time I buy a call. Stop buying calls. Like, seriously. This is the worst market to be buying calls. Not financial advice. Do not. No. Not financial advice. Sorry. Do whatever you want. I'm just not buying. I'm going to sell some calls. I'm going to go in here and go, we want a backdoor into Sunrun over here? Let's see how Sunrun is doing. Yeah. This is kind of how like the market I feel like has been in like tech and energy. Just meh. Yeah. Big fan of buying shares right now. Yeah, no theta decay. Whew. Theta. Ugh. Theta's ugly. Theta robs you. Even if the stock you buy an option on trades sideways, it does nothing. You're basically bleeding out every day. Bad. Wait, what? Let's see. Yeah, you're right. My dad works for the Department of Homeland Security, and he got word of the lockdowns about 2 weeks before most states announced it. I imagine you're talking about the last lockdowns. Unless you think there are going to be new lockdowns. More restrictions, higher demand for ammo. I agree with that. Our state pulled emergency mandate for more nurses. We had a surge in cases for the D variant. Ugh, crazy. It's intense. All right. Sorry. A little bit of cough now, but that's all right. I'm just behind a camera, so it doesn't affect you. All right. DraftKings, 8.74 to the upside. Nice. I don't have COVID. I got tested twice, including yesterday. I don't have COVID. You know, there are other colds people can get beyond COVID. You know that. So anyway, Beachbody's trying to get back to $9. Matterport, 1581. Ashford Hospitality's green. Got Norwegian Cruise Lines moving up. We saw that. PaySafe DD on that news moving up. Talked about DD a little bit a few minutes ago. Yelp, very nice. German bond yields up nearly 4 basis points. Biggest rise since June 17th. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Tencent. Okay, these don't populate in pre-market. Okay, let's quickly see what CNBC has for us, and as we get into the 30-minute countdown to market open.
Bring us that news, Bex.
Well, that does it for us. It's been a long week. It's been
okay. Fine. Bye. Really? They're all on commercial. It's quite annoying. All right, fine then. Bloomberg Live TV. We'll try that. We'll try anything. Is Palantir up? Somebody says Coin's going to be running. Okay, we'll take a peek at these. We'll take a peek. All right. So let's see if you're right. Palantir's up 0.4%. I don't know that I would really call that running. I wouldn't really call that running at all. Okay, somebody look into VLDR. VLDR. I don't know anything about them. I think I briefly looked into them. Don't they have a smaller version of like the spinning LiDAR? I misspelled it. Here we go. Let's take a peek. Pictures. Oh, that's right. I remember this little blue thing. That's right. It's smaller. It's not the big spinning thing. Because, well, it spins within it. But it's not so obnoxious. That's right. I remember this. Much smaller. It's kind of cool. It's still bulbous. Okay. So what's up with them? Here's their stock. It's going straight into the gutter. Ouch. Jeez. Ouch. Were they SPAC'd? Yeah, they SPAC'd. Oh, well, yeah, SPACs. SPACs. I just be careful. SPACs just get whacked right now. Robinhood moving back to the upside here. 4.34% right now. Carvana 9.12%. DraftKings 8.04. Nice. Let me see if I ended up getting Bloomberg. Let's see where I went. Here we go. Oh yeah, we do.
Away from the opening bell, the countdown to the open starts right now.
Everything you need to get set for the start of U.S. trading. This is Bloomberg, the Open with Jonathan Ferro.
Okay, Jonathan. Can't see you. I guess I'll have to watch the ad again. It's so annoying. Yesterday, their 15-second ad was looping too. It was crazy. Anyway. So, Microvast. Yep. A lot of these things pretty stable right now. Pretty much consistent here. Let's take a look at CNBC's chart. Here, take a look at this. Implied open on the S&P 500 plus 0.15, NASDAQ down 0.67, Dow up 82. Nice. SPACs are back. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Sort of where we were. Of course, the inflation debate rages will continue for quite some time. This will do nothing to sort of snuff it out. I mean, we lost 22.4 million jobs in March and April 2020. Morgan, we've recovered about 16.7 million of them so far. The 943,000 number, of course, was above estimates. Hours worked looks pretty good, and wage gains pretty significant.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, the JFK style. Absolutely. You know, people are like, oh, how can you bring everyone together? JFK style. I like it.
In terms of job gains for both June and May, I think speaking to the fact that more people have been coming back to the labor market than perhaps had been previously anticipated. The work.
Yeah, we do.
Gains in leisure and hospitality, 380,000 positions for the month, of which 253,000 came in at bars and restaurants, which again also speaks to the fact that we're seeing reopening. Also for schools and public education on the local level too.
Yeah, you can obviously see the impact on futures minute by minute over the last half hour or so. NASDAQ did take a bit of a ding, as the emphasis is clearly going to be on some risk on, some value over growth, some reopening trades coming alive once again. And then, of course, there's the argument about what the Fed says about this in the coming days and weeks. Jackson Hole, of course, right around the corner, David. Is taper now even more of a certainty, as we have not just the likes of Bullard arguing for a faster taper, but now some high-profile senators weighing in. Joe Manchin yesterday saying, look, inflation is a risk.
Yeah, Manchin's comments certainly getting a lot of focus. You know, looking at Peter Bookvar always puts a note out right afterwards saying the Federal Reserve has run out of excuses in keeping QE full speed ahead. We're certainly going to be hearing a good deal about that in particular in terms of QE and why.
Well, we'll see
at this point.
I don't know about full steam ahead.
I mean, you just look at the housing market, right, to that point, and what we've seen, it's been on fire. And yes, you can talk about years-long inventory shortages that are coming to a head now.
Speaking of housing, that I do want to look at together. Let's take a peek here to see if Redfin Data Center has finally updated. Let's see what we got here. So new listings rotating down sort of with as is typical this time of year. That's fine. But this is always interesting. What are the new listing prices? Okay, flatlining a little bit here. Good. Good. We finally got July 25th data here. So a little flat. Pending sales. Ooh. Also rotating down. Sort of, I mean, they always rotate down, but a little bit earlier than usual here. So a tiny little bit of cooling here. But it's good. What's really good to see is that people are now moderating their price expectations. And these aren't skyrocketing anymore. That was a problem. Let's look at sold prices. Still up, though. But I feel like this is going to flatten here. But golly, still in the last report up. Here, this was a flat line. And then up 1K. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I filmed a I gotta edit this. Filmed a before and after real estate video. So for those of you interested in real estate, I think you'll enjoy this. Nice before and after. So yeah, I'll share that at some point. Robinhood. It's now up 10%. So in terms of buying the dip, we nailed it. In terms of selling the covered call, we nailed it. And then yesterday, I thought maybe it'd be up like a few percent again. Because usually after a 27% dip, it'd just go up a few percent again. That is until we had like some crazy momentum come back. I was not expecting it to literally go up 10 or 11% again the very next day. So I think that's very interesting that people are buying the 50 dip. Now, if you put into it yesterday while it was at $51, which you can't anymore because now it's going to be like 56 or whatever. But anyway, had you put into it by selling puts over here at the money, let's say 50, approximately 50, you would have gotten 15 divided by 50. You would have gotten about a 30% return on your capital on November 2021 puts that you'd sell. So put that into perspective here. If you put $5,000 of collateral up, you would have gotten a $1,500 credit on the, which is not bad, on the November puts. But now that it's up 10%, that will change. So, yeah. Anyway, those will become less expensive, so you'll get less of a credit. Probably somewhere around, maybe you'd bring it down to like $1,200, right? So maybe $1,200, it'd be down to 24%. That is interesting, or more. We'll see. Okay, then we have FireEye, Sunrun, Redfin's down 2%. I'm surprised Redfin's down after yesterday's earnings because it was up a couple percent after the earnings, and now it's given that up. How rude. Oh, well. DocuSign. DocuSign's over 300. That's incredible. Square sitting at 277. Wow. How's Trade Desk been? $82? Oh, yeah, it's been on the up and up. Some incredible stocks. Let's listen to CNBC again here really quick.
Showing up that we're actually allocated. So the fiscal stimulus is not as much as we thought, but then it's being shifted out a little further. The CBO has marked up the infrastructure package, saying it will add $256 billion over the next 10 years to the deficit. That's pretty small in the sort of scheme of things, given what we've been through. But I think
sorry, yours does not have a pilot light window. Yeah, I'd love to bring the kids again. In the before and after, I did not, though, because I'm trying to distance myself from them because I do have a tiny little bit of a, it's mostly been a sore throat. But anyway. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Tony just joined the courses. Tony, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining. Anybody else? Remember, you get lifetime access on those programs linked down below. All right. Enjoyed the inspection with the boys. Oh, yeah. I'd love to bring them back out. So I'll probably do a before and after video on this next house and then do, bringing Jack and Max to it or something like that. That'll be fun. Maybe next week. Yes, I had 2 COVID tests. 2. A lot of COVID. Besides, how could I get COVID? Meet Kevin.
Right now, I mean, the reason growth wasn't strong in the second quarter is because really we're not producing vehicles. I mean, we're down to 35 days worth of sales. Now that has slowed the economy right now. But again, I think businesses will adapt. I think, every automaker is scrambling for chips. And there are ways of producing them, the ways of finding them. So I suspect.
Yeah, I actually think that's going to be bad for automakers because you're just not going to produce the volume.
Find ways of doing this, and that means a big inventory rebuild. And while I agree with Diane that fiscal is going to be a little weaker than it's been heretofore, I do think you're going to see a big inventory rebuild, adding to growth going forward.
Legends don't get COVID. Okay, what I think would be really, I don't know if necessarily fun, but I've kind of been blowing it off. And like we looked at the sticks, we looked at the headlines, we did the jobs report. Let's at least do like one together or something like that. And let me know what you all think about this. If this is boring or if you like it, okay? So this is the Corsair earnings presentation. And what I like to do is just get past, I'd like to analyze to see if there are any complaints that they mention. But I'm really looking for inflation complaints and see complaints like this. Here, hold on. Let's get rid of this here. Okay, there we go. We'll just do this for like a couple minutes here. So we experienced growth in every category. Hold on, let's do this. There we go. Despite key component shortages in the market, such as graphic cards for enthusiastic gaming PCs, as well as semiconductor shortages, logistic issues, and port delays. I mean, look at this. This is just a disaster, right? So component shortages, semiconductor shortages, logistics issues, and port delays. I mean, those are like 4 massive problems that you just can't deal. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? You know. So I feel bad for companies that have to deal with this because it's not their fault. So our belief is that in the situation in 2020 and early 2021, clearly spend more time in their home, gamers, learning to play games better, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Headsets tend to be the first peripheral that gamers buy to make their game more immersive. But then they go to mice and keyboard. Oh, that's interesting. I never considered what people would buy first, right? So that's very interesting to me. Okay, now I'm really looking for more broad market damages, and I will not be reading this thing word for word. So yeah, gross profit margin decreased primarily due to freight costs. See, that's a bummer because if it weren't for that, yeah, this is Corsair. They could potentially. We'll go back to the sticks in like a minute, I promise. I just want to quickly look at this. SG&A. Yeah, look at that. Even SG&A. Excuse me. Hold on. Our memory project margin in this segment was 17.7%. Second quarter SG&A, sales, general, and administration, were $80.2 million, an increase of $23 million, primarily driven by outbound freight cost due to increases in revenue, increases in expenses being public, and personnel expenses. Okay. I love how they always blame, oh, we went public, so that increased our SG&A. I mean, yeah, of course, because you have like SEC-style attorneys now and such. But I think it's always a funny mention. It's like, you chose to go public. Anyway, I guess you'd still blame it. Okay, patent trial. Okay. This is interesting. See prices, right? Okay, and with Prime Day at the end of Q2, coupled with the upcoming holiday season, we expect a more normal promotional environment. Oh, this is interesting. We grew in Q2, and we're expecting growth in revenue in the adjusted operating income and EBITDA for 2020. Okay, good. Here we go. With the exception of the number of our premium products with high semiconductor content, the channel is much better stocked now. Okay, that's interesting. That's a weird way to phrase that. Anyway, in Q2, shipping expenses were much higher than normal, and we expect that to continue for the rest of 2021. Ooh. See that right there? This is telling you like they don't actually expect inflation issues to subside until 2022 because they're still going to have shipping issues. So that's why I like reading these. Finally, memory chip prices started moving down near the end of Q2, and that normally lower margins on our memory products while prices are moving down. Okay, these are somewhat counterbalancing the strong demand we have from our loyal customers and new customers. It seems like a very weird way to phrase some of these things here. Okay, wondering if you're willing to address your competitive performance. Okay, I don't know that we really care about this. Hold on. Average selling prices and lower market share on very low average selling prices. In other words, we're not typically an entry-level player. Fine. Okay, in terms of guidance for the quarter, excuse me, we don't give quarter guidance, we give annual guidance. And you have to take things into account, like say blah, blah, blah. Okay, next question. Curious strengths or weaknesses in your product lines? Man, these are stupid questions. Sorry. I'm coughing at the bull crap I'm reading here. It's just stupid questions. Let's get to real questions. Okay, here you go. See, here we go. You guys have called out supply constraints and logistics issues several times already. Just wondering if there's a way to quantify the impact of both those factors. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to give an exact number because it's certainly in the tens of millions. Oh my gosh. But we haven't gone through and done the math to see what we thought we would have shipped if we had full supply. That's interesting. At competitiveness. But I think the biggest issue right now, remotely, is probably the lack of graphic cards is holding back the component market and stopping PC building. Wow. That's interesting. See, none of this is really like bad. I remember the headset, yeah. None of this is the Lambda. Get out of here. None of this is actually really like bad on Corsair, right? Like it is temporarily, but this isn't the company's fault. I mean, I am partially concerned that less people would want to buy gaming PCs and stuff because, well, like people aren't at home as much anymore, right? People aren't taking their stimmies and buying gaming PCs. All right. Let's see here. Okay, what else we have? Okay, just to follow up, I guess, of trying to understand see, normalized profitability for business. Very, very good. I guess if I looked at EBITDA in the last 12 months, you guys had been a little bit above 13%. If I go back to COVID, prior to COVID, it was more like high to mid single digits. Profit. The profit was high to mid single digits, so like 6-7%, right? Now 13%. I don't think the change has been blah, blah, blah. Okay, big surge over the past year. Trying to guess. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've always said that we want to be in the low teens and perhaps get to the mid-teens. So where they are now. Obviously, we had tailwind last year with the market ramping up faster, then we can expand the business. Right now, we would have a fairly heavy expansion mode in terms of R&D and marketing because business has got much bigger. Okay, good. That would be above pre-COVID levels, but not right now today, the same level as Q1. We talked about, okay, this is a little complicated how this is moving here. But we think what we did in Q1 is achievable. We just need to grow the business more and keep putting out growth, higher margin products, and that'll help. Also note we're seeing a shift towards more higher margin gamer and creator peripherals, which continued in Q2. That's good. Creator things, that's good. You want to see creators spending bigger dollars on things. That should be a good tailwind for us. I don't know though, because like YouTube viewership, at least in certain sectors, has really been falling. So okay, I'm gonna take a pause on this. Let's go back to the sticks. Maybe we'll come back to that. I don't know if you like that. That's Elgato, exactly. That is Elgato. So I don't know. Let me know if you liked going through like an earnings call. We didn't go through the whole thing, but let me know if you like that. Just as like a little break in between while we do other things. Let's listen in here for a moment.
Vaccinations in this country, when Pfizer does get that regular approval, it comes off the emergency and people feel more comfortable that the FDA is really behind this.
And then companies and government like the defense can mandate saying you have to go get your vaccine because now it's finally fully approved by the FDA.
That's the key. That's the key we'll be waiting for. Next one here, many companies changing their COVID guidelines. Let's start with United.
So shocking, right? First airline to do this. 67,000 of its staff now have to get vaccinated or you're fired if you don't get your jabs. You have 5 weeks after the FDA fully approves that COVID vaccine that we were just talking about, or you have 5 weeks after September the 20th, whichever one comes first on the calendar. Now United will incentivize their staff to go get the jab. You get a full day of paid leave to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we also heard other companies like Wells Fargo yesterday delaying their return to the office until October. So Wells Fargo, along with BlackRock, which we know is the world's largest money manager, and both financial giants had said, okay, September, but now the Delta variant spread means October instead. We also had Disney negotiating with its unions over a new vaccine requirement. So this will cover over 60,000 of its cast members in Florida at Disney World. Disney already mandating a vaccine for its non-hourly corporate staff, and you have to get the jab to come back into the office, and you have to do it in the next 60 days. Now, the big headline yesterday was Amazon delaying its return until next year, January 2022. So that goes a step even further than the other tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. These Silicon Valley tech giants are still targeting a fall return to the office, but a lot of people are saying, look, Tim Cook told me they're going to delay the return to the office until at least October. So if Amazon's going all the way out to January 2022, I think the likelihood, a lot of people say this, is that we're probably going to be looking at September, October, going to January instead.
That's interesting. So if back to work gets postponed to January, that means stay at home longer, right? Stay at home longer. Furniture, Wayfair, Restoration Hardware, maybe Apple computers, right? What else is stay at home? I don't know. Are we still doing Zoom? I don't know. I guess Zoom, Skype. Skype is Microsoft now, right? Why do I not know this? I have no idea. Maybe because I don't invest in Microsoft. Skype. Let's see here. Skype is. Yep. Skype Technologies is now Microsoft. All right. Well, it's good to confirm that belief. It's always good to fact check. So, okay. So, yeah, Skype is actually still a thing. Not only is it still a thing, but get this. Check this out. Hold on. Okay, so yesterday I got interviewed by Newsmax, which people are always like, "Oh, Kevin, why'd you go on these like right channels?" It's like, I don't care. I'll go on any. In fact, take a look at this, and it's just worth mentioning really quick. I tweeted this. I go, and I think honestly, I think like 98% of us watching this probably agree with this, but let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Identity politics are cancer. I'm running to bring Californians together. So shout out to Newsmax for the interview. I don't care if you're left or right. I want to bring back California's exceptionalism. With a supermajority of Dems, I stand the best chance, and I'm number one in the polls. But anyway, so this interview right here, which you can watch, the Newsmax just confirmed me, it was through Skype. So for what it's worth, Skype works. But now I didn't like the color grade they put on me when they put me on. I think they put too much like they took all my contrast away. They took my saturation away. I looked like a ghost. And then they turned me green and I'm like, what is this? They're like, how do we deal with this kid's purple everywhere? But anyway, that was Skype. So, you know, for what it's worth. Robinhood at $57. Microvast dropping a tiny little bit from the 20% we had. Plug Power 7-ish. Cool. Thank you for saying that was a good interview. What's my expectation for SoFi earnings? What time? When is that? SoFi earnings. Isn't that like the 12th or something like that? All right. Jeremy donated $10. Thank you. What is the jab being forced on low-risk groups? Are these companies going to force the flu, polio, measles shots? This is just evil stuff. Okay. Got it. Yeah. You know, I think it's up to, I guess, individual companies to decide. But yeah, I mean, if businesses want to mandate that, it's ultimately up to them. I don't know how you expect me to respond to that one. But okay, earnings for SoFi are on August 12th. Okay. All right, let's see here. Skype back in 2014. Oh my gosh. Thank you for these comments, by the way. Can I have Peter Schiff on again? Yeah. That'll be fun. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's continue on here. We are 7 minutes away from the opening bell. Quick reminder that if you want a totally free stock, go to meetkevin.com/public. They will give you one totally free stock. And when I make a buy or sell there, everybody sees that buy or sell, which is pretty cool because they have like social commentary platform, which I really like. I like kind of seeing what other people are saying. And then I'm so tempted to get into like debates with them in those comments, but I don't. I get a little nervous. I post my own comments though. So that's kind of cool when I buy or sell on Public. So check that out. You can follow me at MeetKevin on Public and get a free stock when you go to meetkevin.com/public. So back to this. Yelp, this is some of the best numbers here that we've seen in a while. I'm impressed with Dropbox, I have to say. Dropbox finally moving up a bit more, now at 3.51. Let's see how Corsair is doing. Corsair is still sitting at about 28.33. I think their pain's going to continue for a while with these shortages. Because, see, they have two things really going against them. They have people going back to work going against them, so potentially gaming less. But then on top of that, they also have this component shortage, chip shortage, freight disaster. I mean, like everything's just a disaster right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if the downtrend just continued for a bit longer. It's not saying it's a bad company. It's just, it's unfortunate. It's not their fault. Anyway, it's just going to affect profitability. And that's what the stock market cares about. Profits. Just look at Tesla. Anyway, 40,900 on Bitcoin right now. And what else here? Upwork. It's the second day in a row now. It's down. It was down like 10% yesterday. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a nice breakthrough over here to the downside. Interesting. Roblox, Redfin, Wayfair, AMD, Cheesecake. Nice. Piton. Okay, good. All right. So we are now 4 minutes from market open. Let me go ahead and just see what's going on the terminal as we lead into the market open here. Sometimes we can get a little bit of a peek and see what the suits are reading. All right, let's go to top news here. So U.S. job growth extends forecast, right? Dollar gains, treasuries fall, which means treasury yields go up. Senate sets up weekend infrastructure vote after final skirmish, right? The infrastructure plan, like, come on, so much drama. Let's see. Alibaba said to warn of higher taxes, right? Russian wildfires engulf one of the coldest places on Earth. That's interesting. Okay. It's not really. Let me go into the live blog. Not much beyond jobs. U.S. yields have been there and back again amid uncertainty. Will they taper this year? Will they not? Right. Well, so far it sounds, based on this jobs report, it would seem like the Fed's definitely going to start tapering this year. Low-paid job gains dominate, further easing inflation fears. Low-wage, leisure, and hospitality positions, along with food services, once again made a big contribution to monthly payroll gains. Increases in those sorts of jobs seem unlikely to trigger out-of-control inflation or force a faster-than-expected taper from the Fed. That's interesting. I've not heard that sort of breakdown or version before. So basically, they're saying, as long as leisure and hospitality jobs are the ones that are creating all the jobs, then we're less likely to see out-of-control inflation. I guess that makes sense because, like, if you saw, like, computer programmers and engineers or, like, nurses, if you saw all of them have their pay just go, then it's kind of like, oh, inflation's maybe more broad-based, right? But if pay is going up for, like, retail and hospitality, that's just, like, the carrot to get people to come back to work. And that could potentially be a little bit more temporary. Using the word temporary is almost becoming political now. So I have to be careful with that. Because people are like, no, inflation is not transitory. Yeah, it is. Oh, man. All right. Gold sees worst possible outcome in jobs data. Oh, gold dropped right after. That's interesting. Both of those metrics suggest faster rate increases, which would be bad for the metal. Interesting. Faster rate increases maybe because then people would go to bonds instead of holding gold because they would get a yield out of the bonds. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we are now 1 minute away from the opening bell. Let's go back to the sticks here. I would like to see AMC on the opening. I'd also let's go to a dual chart today. The 4 chart, too much. Let's just do Robinhood and AMC for the opening salvo. That sounds like that raid siren's going to go off in red alert. Woo! Anyway, sorry. Rockets coming in, opening salvo. I don't know. That's bad references. I'm sorry. Anyway, here we go.
It's definitely yesterday with BlackRock and Amazon and Microsoft and Wells pushing back their return to office. Companies are trying to adapt and stay on top of, obviously.
All right, looks like we got like a 50-50 mix here. AMC's draw. Oh no, that's like 80% green. Never mind. That's 70 to 80% green. AMC dropping on the open here. We've got Robinhood jumping on the open. It's literally like if I could grab money from here and go here, I feel like that's what's happening. It's just like, just transfer over. Just kind of funny. But it's very interesting. Okay, so we're at 33.26 right now on AMC, 58.71 here on Robinhood. Robinhood did pop to almost 60 there for a moment. What an incredible shift. So Robinhood up now 16%. Holy smokers. That's incredible. Watch it ends up being another 50% day. Oh my gosh, it's nuts. Your thoughts on Weber? Honestly, I saw Jim Cramer wearing the Weber thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry. No. Like, and in fairness, that's not a slam at Weber. It's just, it wasn't even a consideration. And usually when Jim Cramer is wearing somebody else's outfit, I'm like, yeah, that's not the time to even consider buying them. All right. As long as everyone who lost their job gets their job back, we can inflate the jobs report and not have full employment, so I can keep being the buyer and lender of last resort. Okay, that sounds like some like Fed skepticism here, but I don't understand it. As long as everyone else, yeah, because everyone who lost their job is not going to get their job back. But I see. Okay, I get the skepticism, but yeah, a lot of people definitely not getting their jobs back. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Hoping API was going to keep its gain from the pre-market. Big red. Oh. Yeah, Robinhood actually falling again here. Robinhood dropping like a rock right now. And I wonder if that means the money's going back to AMC. Let's see. No. Now they're just both dropping like a rock. It's like this equation doesn't work. All right. Let's go back to the single chart and see what else is going on here. So, Yelp, Carvana, DraftKings. DraftKings not as high as it was. Nordstrom's. Are you serious? Nordstrom's again? I'm impressed. Isn't that 2 days in a row now of green? Let's see. This is the day chart. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of been coming up again. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Like, this doesn't change my mind on recovery. I think people are being too optimistic here on recoveries. And, well, whatever. That's just going to set up for a bigger fall if Delta keeps going mad. FireEye, Sunrun, Voyager, Redfin, Beyond Meat, Wayfair. These guys losing. Not that big of losses, though, beyond the first 3 or 4. I mean, Redfin's going down a full 4.41%. That's a lot. Etsy's over here, too, at 1.26. MP Materials. Oh, after earnings. $40 now. Wow. How can companies make you get the vaccine when it's supposed to be confidential? Can't you identify as vaccinated? Yeah. I mean, technically, companies and private property can do whatever they want, right? It's their property. It's kind of like if you're like, hey, you can't come in my house unless you prove you're vaccinated. And it's like, well, that's anti-American. It's like, well, go enjoy your Americanism outside my house, but don't come inside. You know, so when you get to private property rights, you know, businesses have a lot of leverage. And I mean, as they should, right? Not necessarily about the vaccine, but they should have as many freedoms as possible. Because that's why we have a very successful capitalistic economy. Obviously, there are a lot of problems that leave a lot of people behind, which is unfortunate. But anyway, that gets into more of a discussion that we don't need to have right now. So anyway, MP Material. Yeah, it's really done well since May. Nice. Look at that. Wow, it got, in May. Well, everything was rock bottom in May. So, I mean, that's not a surprise. I usually remember this in the low 30s. That's kind of where I remember this. But the fact that now it's over here in the 40s, nice job. Nice job. Did the S&P 500 just hit a record high? Dow Jones just hit a record high. It's so crazy. Gold falls 2%, silver down 3%. Crazy. Yeah, there's a mass question here. I actually wear just to keep my, because like I know I have like a cold of some sort, not COVID. At least I've tested negative twice, But when I walk around the house, we have 3 massive HEPA filters running. We run the fan of the house, which also has HEPA filters. And I walk around with we only have the stupid valved N95, so I end up just double masking with like the surgical style type. But anyway, just for the kids' sake, like I don't want to cough and spew cold germs. So I think that works. That helps. Okay, so Redfin is really falling here. 6.19% to the downside. Sunrun also getting beat up here. These numbers are not exciting for me to where like, oh, I gotta buy or whatever. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on this, especially Redfin over here. Seems like we've kind of been bouncing along this 56, 58 line. Yeah, that's approximately where we are now, and we drew this line quite a while ago. So the fact that we're dancing that line is very interesting. Run, trying to recover a little bit here. I'm always looking for opportunities here. But Wayfair, remember, Wayfair went down to the 230s, was patient, bought some after being patient. How's Krispy Kreme been doing? Oh, right. It's been doing the usual IPO. It's been doing the IPO. Yeah. Anyway, okay. CTRM's down a tiny little bit. What else here? TripAdvisor down a little bit. Or any opportunities here in the middle ground? Sometimes when you only look at the top or bottom, you kind of forget to look in the middle ground. Like how's Marriott doing? Let's see. Well, that downtrend is literally continuing that we drew a long time ago, which is kind of crazy. We had almost this breakout here, but now it's continuing. So sitting at about 140 over here. Not as low as it was, 126, but still. Yeah. I don't know. Delta. Etsy, 0.69% to the downside. Here's Nvidia. ARK K is getting shorted like crazy, apparently. We should pull up the short interest. Let me pull that up really quick. Although I have been looking at short interest a lot less lately because the market doesn't really care. There's a lot of this, belief we still have ingrained in ourselves that, oh, I just need to know what the short interest is because the stock's going to run off that. That worked for a month, and it quickly died. Like, I remember we made some nice tendies off Workhorse playing that game, but then it died. Then nobody cared anymore. Like, Clove had it for a moment. Remember that? All right, let's look really quick. So ARK K, let's see what their short interest is. Oh gosh, it's gone up more. It's at 12%. It's 11.97. Here, look, I'll show you. Look at this. And it's just gone straight up. Well, it's not really straight up, but it's accelerated here as Delta has gotten more popular and going into this jobs report. The short on ARK K is growing. Fascinating. You want to short high risk? Just short Kathy Wood. Oh man. Oh gosh. Yeah, generally you do not want to bag hold a momentum stock. You could be holding that bag for a very long time. So Robinhood's dancing around this 11% number. Looks like it kind of slowed down on its big move here. But Virgin Galactic just showed up to the party with a nice 5% gain. Shift Technologies up 3.3. Nice. All right. Where's Tesla? Is Tesla just doing nothing? How boring. It's like a dead rock. Yeah, look at that. Nothing. 714. Chilling over here. Doing nothing. Mega boring. Way to go, Tesla. All right. So what else here? Let's go ahead and look at some news headlines. In the meantime, if you have not yet, make sure to download the Meet Kevin app and join the challenge. Every time you share content, you get 10 points, and that awaits you to either get a free course or join me on a private jet flight over to Vegas. And it'll be fun. So the more points you have, the greater your chance of winning. Although it will be random, there'll be a random selection weighted by how many points you have. So everybody has a chance, which is good. All right, let's see here. I don't see any new particular news here, so this is a little boring. Okay, let's try something different. We could also try econ. Wall Street Journal. Walmart gives weekly bonuses to keep warehouse workers. Makes sense. Okay. China's antitrust regulator planning to fine. Don't know who that is. Huawei reports 38% revenue drop as U.S. sanctions bite. Oh gosh. Imagine being an investor over in Huawei, and then just because of sanctions, their income drops. How's lumber? I don't know. Let's just check LBS. Lumber. Let's see here. 564 is previous close. But now it's at 522. It's dropping. Let's go to like the 6 month here. Yeah, just kind of keeps going down. 522. All right, what do we have over here? No. All right. FT. Let's see here. U.S. labor market makes solid gains. Germany's wine country counts costs as a flood. That was so sad. German industrial production drops for a third month in a row. Hey, look at that. Bets against Cathie Wood's flagship ETF hit record high. We were just talking about that. Let's pop this. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Retail investors on the hunt for bargains in Chinese-focused funds. Yeah, like K-Web. German industrial production falls. Why? Eurozone's manufacturing sector is struggling with supply bottlenecks and components shortages. Yep. Same issue. Production fell 1.3% in June from its previous from the previous month to 6.8% below pre-pandemic levels. Yikes. Capital goods such as vehicle manufacturing were the biggest drag on output, as car makers found it difficult to source semiconductors. Ooh, it's not good. It's not good for like Tesla and NIO. Ooh, sell calls. Ugh. Sorry. That came over me. Construction activity declined 2.6% while consumer goods increased. Economists warn that supply issues would persist through the second half of the year. No. We need it to recover in the second half of the year. How is September and October going to be right if this crap keeps going? Oh, it's depressing. But you got to adjust. Going to take longer. With the manufacturing sector still not firing on all cylinders, there is now a question mark. Is it normal to say question mark? I feel like I've seen so many people say question mark, but I always just say there is now a question over whether the economy will regain its pre-pandemic level. Or is it just either or? So either or, question or question mark. Curious what y'all think. See, with their context, with the manufacturing sector still not firing on all cylinders, there is now a question mark over whether the economy does that mean like there's a quest I could turn in, like in World of Warcraft? You know? WoW, question mark, quest giver. You know? Yeah, see, like this is very satisfying because it means I have to turn a quest in. This means I have to get the quest. But this means I get my reward. So maybe that's why they say there's a question mark over. Gosh. European leaders have promised to help expand the continent's chip-making capacity. Yeah, good luck. It's going to take a while. Supply bottlenecks are important, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, we know. All right, let's go back to the sticks because somebody said the hood is running. Somebody writes here, I think Win is going to go down to the low 70s, possibly 65. Hotel in general not looking good. Well, I agree with you. Meanwhile, well, I won't say my meanwhile. But, oh yeah, Robinhood's at 16%. It's almost at $60 again. Yes, I think with Delta fears, recovery's got some pain coming up. China's in the process of testing the whole population for COVID. Things were getting nasty over there last I checked. Jeez. Any idea why Redfin's doing so well? Redfin did phenomenally during the pandemic. I mean, it ran from $10 to like where we are now, $60, right? It's just been the last, since February. Yeah, it sucked. It's just sucked, It's just off its highs like Tesla. And, the market just revalued them. Okay, let's see. You guys are talking about question. Kevin wants to beat Germany. Yeah, that's right. It's a question of or over. The economy makes it. It's a question of normally, but over the economy makes it a question mark. Oh, interesting. Thank you. That is very interesting. Hope your war is legendary. Well, thank you. If you turn on colorblind settings and change red and green to red, the market is up bigly. That's funny. Yeah, just trick yourself. Okay. Robinhood's doing its dance. Oh, insider sales on hold until SEC approves. Oh, that's interesting. Probably the new revised S1 or something like that. So we get a nice pop here. Wow. Very cool. Like seeing something like this. 15% right now. Let's take a little look-see around here. Why don't we? No, that's not that good. Yeah, selling puts is lucrative right now. Lots of people buying puts. $22 on the 60. Gosh, that brings you to $38. That's not bad. Why is it so good? That's interesting. Yeah. Wait. Okay, I just updated. 19 now. Whatever. Gary Gensler. I will gladly look at that. Give me a sec. You said he put it on Twitter? Well, I happen to have Twitter up right here because I have Twitter, and I encourage you to follow me there at RealMeKevin. You could also send me a picture, by the way, of you retweeting my stuff, and that would count as well in the Meet Kevin app challenge. So if you have no clue what I'm talking about, download the Meet Kevin app in Apple or Android App Store. Go to the bottom right, click challenge, and upload a picture every time you share something of me, which could include retweeting a tweet, and you'll get 10 points. And obviously, the point is to help with the campaign. And as a reward, we're going to be taking the top 10, randomly selected. So it's going to be weighted. So you don't have to do this every day, but if you do it a little bit, you still have a chance of coming to Vegas, private jet, or getting a free course. So all you have to do is download the Meet Kevin app, take a screenshot anytime you share something. But anyway, so you said something about Gary. Yeah, Gensler. Okay, market. This must be this clip.
Going on TikTok, going on Reddit. See a little bit of slowing activity.
Hold on. I have Bloomberg up. Hold on. I got to find out where I have that tab. Yeah, that's always a bummer when... oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Let's listen to this.
Going on a new generation of investors going on TikTok, going on Reddit, going on all sorts of other places, promoting either a cryptocurrency or promoting a stock. Where does the SEC see their role in that conversation?
I think it's the same it's been for decades. It's trying to foster good debate and dialogue, just like on this program here, about investing, and the retail engagement is positive, but also to guard against fraud and manipulation. And whether that's from big actors, big hedge funds in the markets, or not. And also to promote transparency. We are taking a real close look at market structure. And I recently started, engaging on Twitter, and to some of those Twitter followers that are writing about dark pools. We are looking very closely at this market structure, that so many of our orders, retail public orders, are not going to the lit markets, but are going to internalizers, going to wholesalers who are taking the retail public's trades rather than sending them to the stock exchanges.
Wow. Very good. It feels good. We'll see if it ends up being good. It feels good to have an SEC chairperson who's looking out for retail and demanding better transparency, the elimination of manipulation, and exposing dark pools. See if it ends up being good. In the meantime, go Gary. Also, AMC. There we go. Okay, good. So now, where were we? The sticks. Right. Now it's 16% on Robinhood. Yep, 15%. Virgin Galactic. Good job. Good job, space hodlers. I'm happy for you. Oh, wow. That is a very nice thing for you to say and pay me to say. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that in 10 years of YouTube. You appreciate this content the most. Thank you. All right. Sorry. Okay, so what do we have here? Plug power, 4.27. I thought Plug was doing better. What happened? Oh, yeah, okay, it's rotating down. So you can't win in this market. Oh, look, Tesla's almost down 1%. Oh, look at it dance the line. And play the line. All right. Let's see here. FireEye, Voyager Digital. Voyager Digital down 8. How's that VGX token? Look. Coin market cap VGX. I heard this thing finally recovered from its pain. Yeah, it's still doing good. It's finally recovering. Yeah, good. I really like the people over at Voyager. And then I heard the million thing or whatever. The classic like momentum bleed. I mean, I hate to say it because I also like the creators here, but it's just classic momentum kind of bleed out. How else are we doing over here? Cardano, 138. Yeah, folks, like if there's one thing you write down, I highly encourage it, at least. Not financial advice. But folks, anytime Cardano drops to like $1 or like $1.04, it's like ding, 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 ding. Like the last 3 times it has, I was sending alerts in the Stocks and Psychology Money group, like, yeah, buy. Not financial advice. But anyway, if you want those alerts, which we'll also be doing the private course member live stream in about 20 minutes. Course is linked down below, right under the link to get yourself a free stock with Public by going to meetkevin.com/public. Anyway. All right. Is there any other new news? Let's see if there's new news. Any new news? U.S. job. Okay, we read this. We know that's boring. China moves to match G7 vaccine push with pledge for 2 billion shots. Okay. It's chaos on Wall Street as Delta variant upends return. Ooh. Let's take a peek at this. Okay. Let's see what data they're using. The call from Morgan Stanley's Human Resource Office went out late Monday. 2 vaccinated employees had COVID-19, and workers on the 14th floor of the Times Square headquarters should stay away until the area could be cleared. Oh no, send in the suits, the hazmat suits. But some staff missed the message, showed up Tuesday morning anyway. Others asked if the company would start mandating masks. For now, the answer is no. After all, you have to be vaccinated to be in the building. The episode was described by a person familiar with the matter, shows the swirls of confusion across Wall Street as banks summon employees back to their towers amid the spread of COVID's highly transmissible Delta variant. The mutation shows its ability to jump between vaccinated people. Executives are struggling on how to calibrate responses. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. JP Morgan's building a big old new building in New York. I walked by it. It looks like... right now, it kind of looks like a JP Morgan new building. The thing from Star Wars. Let me see if you could see it. JP Morgan new building. Yeah. This is the vision right now, but the frame of this looks so crazy. Under construction. Let's see if I can find it. Because it's just like all iron. No, you can't find it. No, that's close, but you're missing the bottom part. Darn it. But anyway, it looks really cool. It just looks like a spaceship from Star Wars. Sorry, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. But anyway, I get distracted easily. New precautions. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I want to see more numbers. Would be nice. These are just sort of bankers' opinions. Vaccine opposition. Okay, what do we got here? Bank executives also have to weigh the fraught U.S. political landscape as they craft policies. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, while vaccine hesitancy remains low in Manhattan, it's common across countries or counties across Montana, Wyoming, Arkansas, Mississippi, states where JPM recently established branch presences. Interesting. All right. Interesting. Okay. Let's go back to Bloom. 6 backline staff members at MGM got COVID this week. 3 were vaccinated and 3 were not. Couldn't get any weirder. There's 2 million. Oh, that's cool. I still think that what's so horrible about Delta is that vaccinated people are basically just like Trojan horses to getting the unvaccinated people sick. So, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, Robinhood dancing around 13% now. Virgin Galactic. Almost a full 10% now. Very nice. Very nice. Is it on the channel? Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, that's nice. Very, very nice. Shift Technologies. CRISPR Therapeutics. Nice. Very good food. Macy's. Arrival. SoFi is up a couple percent. Kind of boring, though, right now. I mean, Coinbase is climbing, though. 2.59. That's not bad. 259, that is. You got to get Coinbase back to 300. Tesla's trying to recover out of its hole. It's in a little hole. Redfin's still down 7%. Jeez. It's painful. 1.1 on Big Digital. Wayfair. Okay, let me go to the terminal here and see if there's any particular news. This feels a little beyond the jobs numbers. A little slow on the news right now. All right, so let's try over here. You can also look at yields. Yeah, let's do that really quick because I have that up. Okay, 10-year yield. Yeah, it's up a little more. 1.2851. 128. Hey, that's my birthday. And let's go to top live blogs here. Better than expected jobs report. We know that. Recovery continues to be uneven. We know. It's all old news. No. Top news. Somebody give me some news. Give me some numbers. Something. Okay. Robinhood soars with insider sales on hold until SEC clearance. Okay, let's try CNBC. Maybe they have some news. Oh, yeah, maybe look at this. Breaking news. How convenient.
Inventories Wholesale inventories up 1.1%, better than expected. And consider this, from June of 2019 to June of 2020, we had 14 consecutive months of no inventory bills, from 0 to minus 1.3. But now this is our 12th month of inventory bills, positive numbers, and that is a good thing. And if we look at the trade sales side of the equation, 2% better than expected. And both of these numbers follow up 0.8. The 0.8 on inventories is the mid-month number we toss. So these numbers are pretty good, joining what was a very solid jobs report, and the markets seem to be reflecting those underpinnings. Morgan, back to you.
Actually, Rick, I'll take it. Thank you, Rick Santelli. Welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Carl Quintanilla with Morgan Brennan and David Faber, live at Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. We got a record high on the Dow and S&P. We're off of the initial highs, but that jobs number was better than expected, as Rick said. Banks up, yields up, and cyclicals up, Morgan.
Yeah, major averages up for the week as well. We're 30 minutes into the trading session. Here are three of the big movers we are watching. Expedia getting hammered. The company warning of continued softness in international and corporate travel over the fears of the Delta variant. Expedia's Q2 gross bookings did, however, rise nearly eightfold year on year. Revenue more than tripled as well, but you can see those shares are down 9.5% right now. Novavax also in the red, announcing it will delay the submission of its COVID-19 vaccine to the FDA for emergency use until the fourth quarter. It also posted a wider than expected loss and saw revenue fall below the street's estimates. Those shares are down 19.5% right now as well. And finally, shares of Beyond Meat. Those are sliding too after a bigger than expected quarterly loss. Cautious guidance tied to COVID-related uncertainty. Those shares are down about 2% right now. And David, I'll kick it over to you.
All right, Morgan, I'll take it. The U.S. economy adding 943,000 jobs in July. The unemployment rate falling to 5.4.
See, they're so bored. They're just like, now it's like we're going in a circle of what we're talking about. Sorry, that's bad. That's bad. Let's go to Bloomberg.
It's a political thing, and it shouldn't be a political issue.
If it is a political thing, sir, why do you think
Labor Secretary
cities like Washington, D.C., the city you're in, like New York City, why some of those minority groups have not been getting vaccinated, why those vaccination rates are so much lower? Is it just politics, or is something else happening?
No, I think in the communities of color, particularly in urban areas, it's a distrust in the healthcare system over generations. I seen it when I was mayor of Boston, and we had to do a lot of work to go out there and build trust in the community. People of color, particularly African-American community, felt in some cases abandoned by the hospital systems over years. So we have to do more work there to encourage people to get vaccinated.
And that's the issue at play right now. So, Mr. Secretary, I wonder what your thoughts on the following might be. If we're in a position now where large companies are starting to say, if you're not vaccinated, you can't work for us, where cities like New York are starting to say, if you're not vaccinated, you can't dine here, when you and I both know the vaccination rates of minority groups just aren't high enough, are you worried that they might be frozen out of this economy?
You know, I'm concerned, but it's also outreach and marketing. We have to go out into the communities and talk to people to make sure people are comfortable with the vaccine. So you can't just arbitrarily say in certain communities in America, like, for example, in Boston, the communities of color, that, you know, force people to get vaccinated. We have to go out and do an educational component of why it's important to get vaccinated, just like we had to do an educational component at the very beginning of the pandemic to express why it was important to wear masks, physical distance, wash your hands, and do all of those things.
So what are you doing right now to make that happen? What does the outreach look like?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it's going to be up to local governments. I think that you know, we're going to be working with mayors in states around the country about that to reach out there. And I know that the COVID task force at the White House is working on it as well right now. I haven't had a meeting with them in the last couple of weeks, but I know that they're working on how do we deal with this issue of the people in America that have decided not to get vaccinated for whatever reason they are. How can we encourage them to get vaccinated? So it's still a work in progress.
Do you think we need to get past this lazy media narrative that it's just politics, that there's much more going on?
Say that one more time. I missed that.
Do you think we need to move past the lazy media narrative that this is just politics, that there's more going on in this country? You touched on the distrust of government. That's a lot more pervasive than I think some people are willing to acknowledge, Mr. Secretary. Would you agree?
Yeah, there's no question about it. And I'm not acknowledging it because I saw it firsthand as the mayor of the city of Boston. But I do think there's a lot. I think a lot of this also has to do with politics. I think that you know, when you look at some parts of rural America, you look at some parts of what's happening down in Florida, people refusing to get vaccinated. It's not a political issue. Getting vaccinated is not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's not a progressive or conservative issue. It's about taking care of yourself and your family and your livelihood and keeping yourself alive. So I wish it wasn't political. It shouldn't be political. Wearing masks shouldn't be political. It has nothing to do with politics. It's about your public health. It's about keeping yourself safe. And ultimately, it's about keeping our economy moving forward and keeping our country moving.
Mr. Secretary, I know you've got to keep moving. You've got a busy morning this morning. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. The U.S. Secretary of Labor there.
I mean, that was a very good interview. I mean, that was interesting. So you really have this labor secretary realizing that people getting vaccinated is in part due to a mistrust of government, because we do have a lot of people who have been left behind especially in this K-shaped recovery, and that just makes things worse. So yeah, that was very good. Very good. Not too late to get flyers. We're probably going to be flying around next week. So I think we're going to go like San Diego, San Francisco, and other places like that. I think we're going to do yard signs, and if people want to print flyers is probably the way we're going to do it. Something like that. Yeah, we got to figure that part out. But anyway, stay tuned. We have sort of that database of where everybody is who wants stuff. And so we're going to fly around to those locations. Probably next week, though. Right now, we're going to start with the social media. So again, if you have not downloaded the Meet Kevin app, download the Meet Kevin app. Go to the challenge at the bottom. You share me 5 times a day on social media. You get 5 entries into the competition to go to Vegas. You do have to come to California, but then you get to go on a private jet with us, which will be fun because we'll have a meal together. 10 winners there, and then 100. The next 100 get free courses. You do not have to be the most active person. That just increases your odds. So you could literally have somebody who took one share of a tweet, an Instagram story, a YouTube video, or whatever, and they could end up coming on the jet. So don't feel like if you have less time, you're somehow disadvantaged. Just get in because it's a random waiting. Okay, good. So what else? Sticks. Go back to sticks here. All right. But that video. Okay. So let's see here. Virgin Galactic is still running. Good for them. We decided against doing the Meet Kevin Tracker app, especially after one of my car tires got poked. Robinhood up 12.5%. PaySafe, $11 on PaySafe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we will be giving away the bumper stickers. Those have arrived. So stay tuned. Those will be going out. Okay. We have Redfin, Fisker, Zillow. Why is Zillow falling? That's interesting. Wait, let's see. Okay, let me find out what's going on with Zillow really quick. Because I thought they did decently. What happened to the Zillow group? ZG, Zillow group. Yes, United did announce that they are mandating vaccines. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. But I think it's going to be too slow, and then we're still going to see lockdowns. Okay, Barclays just dropped the price target to $100 for Zillow. Truist dropped them $10. Zillow predicts its first $2 billion quarter and blows away earnings expectations. Yeah. Okay. Posh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, other than price target cuts, I don't see a reason why it would be down as much as it is right now, which is unfortunate. All right. AMC down a couple percent. Where's AMC right now? 32.77. Okay. Well, it's better. It had that nice gain yesterday. Piton's falling here for some reason. So is Arcimoto. Let me see. Where's Arcimoto? Arcimoto. Go out to the day chart here. It's been recovering nicely. Neo sitting under 45. How is SoFi? Newsom, OMG, more women are. Is that a new update, Shelly? That's interesting if it is. Thank you. Yeah. 1652 on SoFi. I really like SoFi. Robinhood, 57. Virgin Galactic. Yeah, I mean this is all the same. There's not terribly much news here. We might let's see if she's got anything interesting to say.
July. Over the last 4 months, leisure and hospitality has added 1.4 million jobs, and that is nearly half of the 2.8 million jobs we added over that period. So one thing that I think that hopefully this report will do, will really put to rest some of the concerns about having a big damaging labor shortages. Even though wages are rising in leisure and hospitality, it's accompanied by really strong wage growth. So what we're seeing is the kind of economy we want.
Okay. Check out the courses down below because we are going to go over to the course member live stream. So click the courses down below. Use that coupon code Stop the Bullshit. It's with a P, so it's not cursing. Although I own both domains. You know, I had to pay like thousands of dollars for the one that's the curse word, and like $12 for the one with the P. And we don't even use the other one. It just redirects. But anyway, thank you for being here. Get your free stock with Public by going to bekevin.com/public. Join me in the courses link down below. I'm going to make another cup of coffee. And see you in about 10 minutes in the course member live stream. Thanks, everyone. Bye.